Today we are talking about trusting and leading your intuition. So here we are joined with NTSIKI out of South Africa. How are you doing today, sis?
I'm doing great, sis. Even more great. It's lovely and raining down here. It was so windy the other day. Now it's cool and raining very hard. The sound is good, so I'm good. And how are you, sis?
I'm doing great. The rain is always good for us, right? So what is the season that you're in now?
I'm in summer. It's summer. Summer season.
Okay, summer. Yeah. So here it's still winter. Yes. And we had the new moon last night. So we have new moon in Pisces. Mm-hmm. And so that was really exciting. I was reading up on it. So let's get right in.
Yeah.
So intuition says, I feel like, because everybody is so different, we have different levels of intuition. But intuition is the immediate understanding and knowledge or awareness, neither from perception or reasoning. So basically, it's our gut instinct, right? How else would you define intuition, sis?
It is honestly what you say. It is from that angle. But from my angle, I believe, because I'm a believer, and I trust that kind of trust and leading. I always allow the Holy Spirit of God to lead me, and I trust that. So that voice that is quiet and still in my spirit and my soul, that is the intuition for me, and that is the gut feeling, because it gives me the direction. And it's silent, it's quiet. You have to listen to yourself quietly, and you will get the answer, then that directs you. I like it when you say trusting and leading with intuition. Mm-hmm. That's very powerful.
Yeah. I would say, what are some of the examples where, so when you say you're trusting in the Holy Spirit, what is some of that internal dialogue that's happening with you?
All right. It's a quiet spirit within me. Within me, there can be anxiety and peace at the same time. But when I listen to the spirit, to the quietness, the still voice that leads me to quietness, then I know that is the leading of the Holy Spirit. It is always peaceful. It is always quiet. It is still. You have to be very sensitive to listen to the Holy Spirit. And it means there must be no distractions around you. Because there's a distraction, you can miss that voice that is still, that is within you. But there is that voice. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. It will be something that you cannot reason or interpret in the natural, but it's something you feel very comfortable with, at peace with, and it's that thing that leads you to the right direction. So be very sensitive and avoid any distraction when you're listening for that leading.
I love that. I think, distractions, that's what they are, right? They're literally distractions. There's noise that's happening, whether it's in your mind or physical distractions. And I was doing some research around intuition, and some of the things that I came up with is that intuition involves like trusting the collection of your subconscious experiences. So it basically draws everything that you've experienced for all the years of your life, and it is like keeping a record, right? And which means it's constantly growing and evolving. And what I found was scientists are actually calling our gut the second brain. So what research have shown is that there's like 100 million neurons lining our digestive tract. And in those, there's a lot of like more neurons than the spinal cord. So it's got this incredible like processing ability, right? So we're constantly like getting that information. And you know, sis, if there's 100 million neurons in our gut lining, I wonder if having digestive issues affects our intuition, right? So we always think like a healthy mind, but yet if your gut is your second brain and you have inflammation in your gut, does that affect your ability to have very good intuition? What are your thoughts?
I also want to think, you know, yes, I think, you know, gluttony, spirit of gluttony, I think it can affect it. If people are, you know, the kind of people who like to devour, you know, when they eat food and make sure that they do justice to that food and then enjoy and eat a lot, it does affect us internally because even when you are too full, then you get the fatigue and the digestive system doesn't work well. So we have to be very careful also in what we put in our bodies, because what we put in, it will make you. So we have to be sensitive with what we eat. We need to eat healthy, and we need to eat food that also activates our brain, so that we're always sharp. Your iron levels, any, you know, vitamins that you need from the natural fruits or natural organic vegetables, we need to be more sensitive in what we put in our bodies.
I would definitely agree with that. That is literally just something that popped up in my head with how there's so many things that with what we eat and our gut health and how it affects that. And intuition is one of them. So that was a really interesting thing during doing my research. So what are some of the benefits to sharpening your intuition? Like, so for example, why would we need to sharpen our intuition? And one of the examples is, let's say you're giving a speech or a presentation. So one of the things is great intuition allows you to read the room and to tailor your presentation based on what you're seeing, what you are observing, and then you can tailor that to have a more successful presentation. And sis, what is another example of like, what are the benefits to have to sharpen your intuition skills?
You know, just to add on what you just said, I have an experience on that. Sometimes you prepare a presentation, or for me, I'm making an example when I would go to preach somewhere. And I've prepared the sermon because I was told I'm going to preach, and here's the title, or here's the program for that day. So align your title on this. You prepare everything. As you walk into the pulpit or you walk into the stage, if the presentation, if in the workplace I do change management, in church I preach, walk into the stage. As you walk up, everything shifts from what you prepared, and you hear the Holy Spirit leading you that this is what you have to say in this congregation, or in the workplace, this is the message